Hello out there. Welcome to a rather frigid and cold day here at the Wildcat Sanctuary. Happy to have everybody along with us. Happy to be bringing everybody along so we can experience what it's like when it is below zero here at the Wildcat Sanctuary. Wild to think that we've been looking at negative temperatures almost for the past 24 hours here in Sandstone. Hey, Henyata, thanks for joining us. Susan C., good afternoon to you, Susan. Glad to see everybody's filing in here. And as a matter of fact, we actually had a little bit of an emergency over the weekend. We had a power outage up here in Hybrid Haven. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about that power outage and how we enacted some of our protocols to make sure that those cats were staying warm and comfortable. And now, obviously, how we have that problem fixed. So all of those bungalows are heated, happy, and cozy. Hey, Katie D., thanks for joining us. Welcome a few more of our lovely TWS followers. Hey, Kendra Ditto, thanks for joining us. Adam Flory, hello again. Hey, Krista C., looks cold, says Lisa. It is cold. It's not only cold, but it's windy. You can see the wind kind of blowing through my hair here. And the temperature is kind of hanging out right around zero or just above. And with the wind, that's where you kind of get that wind chill and knocking things down into the negative. So I want to welcome everybody to our live post here at the Wildcat Sanctuary. And hope everybody had a safe and warm weekend. Our cats here at the Wildcat Sanctuary certainly did, but not without a little extra effort. We had a power outage up here in Hybrid Haven, and some of the bungalows weren't receiving power. And so we obviously need to make sure that those bungalows are staying heated for our hybrid residents, so they're staying comfortable and most importantly safe during these cooler nights. So I'm going to flip the camera around and show you guys a few things. Afternoon, Kathleen. Thanks for joining us. Howdy, howdy, Jeannie Curry. Karen M. with the ice emoji. I think that's pretty accurate for how I feel right now. I'm going to flip things around here. So, it was Friday, and we noticed some abnormalities with the electrical going to Hybrid Haven. And we noticed that it was kind of tripping. It was tripping on and tripping off. And we can't have that. We need guarantees here at the Wildcat Sanctuary. So what happened on Saturday is I came in along with a handful of other staff members that typically have Saturdays off. And we're getting hundreds and hundreds of feet of extension cord attached to these generators to make sure that these were going to be delivering power to those bungalows that did not have power during this time. So you can see some of the extension cords being thawed out before we wrap them back up. But, this is just kind of one of the many examples of how, you kind of hear me talk about how we are always prepared, and it's thanks to you. And this is one of those situations where we were prepared. We had these generators here. We're able to have these hundreds and hundreds of feet of durable extension cord that we're able to run into the generator and then out into these bungalows. And again, it's just one of those times where you hear old Judson say, sounding like a broken record, that you guys, help set our emergency preparedness plans into action and make them possible. And what happened this weekend and what happened on Saturday is exactly evidence of that. And even further than that, just even setting up the generators, we were also prepared by getting crates out for the cats. And let's say we weren't able to restore that power to some of the generators or to some of those bungalows with the generators. We actually had our emergency protocol plan set in place where we had crates getting out and organizing which cats were going to be moved where, if they were going to come into the welcome center, if they were going to come into the animal care center for a temporary period of time. But obviously we were able to get, I'm going to turn around here so I'm not squinting. Obviously we were able to get the generators set up, get all of the extension cords running and those bungalows heated until we were able to fix the larger problem at hand, which was with another crew coming on that same Saturday, actually trenching out an area behind me leading up into Hybrid Haven over to the ACC. So it was a pretty big undertaking, and something where it's just kind of in the nature of the animal rescue and sanctuary world, is you need to be ready to turn on a dime, and I'm here just to acknowledge that and thank you guys that you are able to make sure that the Wildcat Sanctuary can turn on a dime and make sure that we're providing, as Kelly's waving to me, that we're providing every single thing that our wildcats need, and especially during the winter when it's cold, and it's not only it's a safety hazard for our cats, and we obviously want them to be safe. So now that we got to talk a little bit about our weekend emergency, and obviously that being completely solved and fixed, and me just acknowledging you guys and thanking you for, when you're not even there, it's those monthly Pride members, those general donations, it's Tiger-thon, it's Miracle Match, it's Give to the Max, all those times where we say, hey, this is what helps us help the cats. So I'm glad we got to share that today, and I am going to go walk into Wildcat Pines and catch up on some of your comments as well, since I've been looking at my kind of windburned face here. So I'm going to flip the camera around. I'm also going to get my masks on per our COVID-19 protocol. Brady can just hang out here. Ooh, I got a cold hand, I'll say that much. I got a cold hand. Almost getting my first mask on here. Hope everybody's doing well out there. Those in Minnesota, hope you're staying warm, or those in the Midwest, hope you're staying warm. I'll talk a little bit about some of our winter protocol as well. And today, not only are we observing much of our winter protocol, but we're observing an extreme cold weather protocol. You can hear that wind coming down the alley here, and that means that today looks different than a normal day here at the Wildcat Sanctuary. So that includes more rounds, making sure that cats are using their indoor spaces. Those rounds also include making sure that water buckets are staying thawed and aren't freezing during these cold temps. And you guys obviously know our lockout system, which we typically use, but on a day when we're observing our extreme weather protocol, all cats are actually fed inside of their indoor bedrooms, so we do not use the lockouts on extremely cold days like this. I see Miss Bobcat Morgan. Morgan, will you be my backdrop so I can look at some of the comments? I see Archer over here. Maybe we can get him to be our backdrop. I saw Morgan was heading. Oh, there's Mr. Sarge hanging out in his cave. Look at you, mister. He says, I'm a bobcat. This feels like summer to me. I'm a bobcat. What is it, July? It can't be December. It can't be December. Let me catch up on some comments, everybody. I was talking a little bit about what happened here over the weekend. And the power going out in Hybrid Haven, or I should say it happened on Friday, and we stepped in to get everything corrected during the day Saturday. I was here along with a handful of other staff members who typically aren't here on Saturdays. But again, it just goes to show the lengths that our caretakers and staff members are willing to take when it comes to keeping our cats safe and comfortable. Megan Cusack saying, great safety protocols. Thank you for saying that, Megan. Got to keep the little ones warm, says Ellen. I agree. And Krista saying, so good, everything is back to normal. We're happy too. We're glad it's back to normal, and we are glad that we're able, to kind of shake and move when there are those types of emergency situations, like being able to have those 100 feet of extension cord, hundreds of feet of extension cord, being able to have the 3 generators. It's, not something your normal operation would keep on hand, but for a rescue here at the Wildcat Sanctuary, it's something that we do keep on hand, and we're happy that we're prepared for it. Jill, Renee, how are the big cats doing in Sweet Faces that got heated? They're doing very good, Jill. I took a cute video of right when we got the generators plugged into the bungalows about midday on Saturday. Ashes, of course, had to go right up next to her heater and lay next to it. All the bungalows were still maintaining about in the 40 to 50 degree range before we got the heat in there. So it wasn't too cold by any means, but it was still cute to see Miss Ashes going right up to her heater. You keeping clean paws down there, Mr. Cloud, or what? Or Mr. Sarge? Liz Green commenting, I'm too glad that you got it taken care of so quickly. Let's go see some cats. That's right, Mr. Claude. And we're seeing cats that are a little bit more prone to spending time outside in cold temperatures like this. You guys know, you probably can finish my sentences at this point, but we have all of our expansive free roaming habitats attached to these central animal buildings. We're actually temperature controlled 24/7, 365. So Mr. Sarge here, he may be choosing to be doing some grooming in his cave out here in his habitat, but if he would like, he can head right into his indoor bedroom. He's got access into that room where he can sit on his hanging hammock. He's got a den box with some bedding in there. There's Miss Morgan doing her grooming while Archer fawns over her. Are you showing off to the boy next door? She says, you bet I am. You betcha I am. Kudos to the fabulous staff, says Sue. Thank you for that, Sue. Hope everybody's doing well out there. Certainly staying warm here at the Wildcat Sanctuary, both humans and cats. You kind of hear, at least me, kind of labor on how we keep our cats warm. But obviously our staff members are very much just as important. And, we impress upon them making sure that they are staying equipped and prepared for this cold weather with the right type of footwear, the right type of jackets and pants, and obviously making sure that while they're out there shoveling platforms, while they're doing their rounds on extra cold days like this, that they're, staying safe and keeping well themselves, Miss Morgan. So that's another thing about our emergency cold weather protocol is wellness for our staff as well. How you doing, Miss Margie? You look so pretty. Looks like I got a lot of catching up on comments to do here. Jennifer K asking how many inches of snow did we get? Jennifer, not too much. I'd say at most about 3 inches or so, but it came with a lot of wind. Wendy was asking how much snow we got as well. And yeah, that came with lots of wind, and usually you'll get some drifting. And so in some areas you'll maybe have an inch of snow, but in other areas you might have about 4 or 5. Yeah, Miss Morgie, I see the camera's kind of falling in and out of focus. I know Mr. Copper's joined me. Hey, pretty boy. Hey, pretty boy. I'm stuck under a pine tree over here. I'm stuck under a pine tree. Well, hello, Miss Elise. What are you up to?
Just double checking all the lockouts and everything. Just finished feeding, so.
Elise is saying that she just finished feeding. I've been talking a little bit about our cold weather protocol, and today obviously is different than other days. You've been kind of doing some things that you would do on an extra cold day like today.
Yeah. The cats get fed in a different fashion so that we can minimize their time being in a lockout, because obviously we want them to have access to their shelter and their warm building as soon as possible. And while these bobcats are running around enjoying the snow, some of them definitely enjoy their bedrooms and run right back inside.
Yeah. And you can't blame them, and that's the beauty. Look at Archer go. And that's the beauty, is that we are going to give them the option, but you still get cats like Copper who says, hey, I'm going to come out here in the snow and have a blast. Well, cool, Lisa. I'm sure you're busy doing your rounds and stuff. I was talking to everybody about some of the extra protocols that you're observing, so we'll let you keep at it. Off she goes. Welcome, everybody. Hey there, Mr. Copper. Always needs to do a little catting around with his caretakers if he sees the opportunity. I saw someone asking, are the lynxes out? And we have Aria Lynx, who lives right over here with Bobcat Mondovi. So maybe we will see if she is out. Hey, Mr. Mondo. Are you marking the fence right there? Hey, Mondo. And everybody knows Mondovi, one of our rescued bobcats here at the Wildcat Sanctuary. Where are you, mischievous boy? He says, I am an excellent stalker. And it looks like he's wanting to lick up some of the last pieces of chicken on his lockout, and doesn't look like he's too interested in the human here. And I'm looking for Aria, who's typically up in the trees, but you know, kind of like Elise said, the big flower-grown paws. But to them, hey, they still want to take advantage of that warm bedroom, and it looks like that's what I'm finding out here. But I do want to go see if we can see Bobcat Brianna, because I know that she had been requested the other week on a live post. Hello, Mr. Mondovi. Yeah, hello, Mr. Mondovi. That's Elise with the food buckets, not me, big guy. Welcome, everyone. If you're just joining in, rather frigid day here at the Wildcat Sanctuary. Temps are kind of hovering just above zero, but with the heavy winds that we have today, kind of knocking things down into the negatives. So we've been talking about our extreme weather protocol. We actually talked about how we took care of a little emergency that we had where Hybrid Haven was temporarily out of power. We discovered that the power was tripping on Friday, and we were able to get everything set up and have power again the very next day on Saturday, but not without some extra effort, us running hundreds of feet of extension cord, getting the generators out, mapping out if we were going to have to move certain cats into crates. But hey, that's us pulling out our preparedness plan, but we did not have to enact that plan since we were able to get the power back to Hybrid Haven. Now, I don't see Miss Brianna. Well, I am going to show you her habitat here before we go and see if she's hanging out in her bungalow, but it looks like caretakers have already stopped in here, have cleaned off all of her perches and platforms so that special lady can enjoy her habitat in comfort as she always would. And Miss Brianna, she does live back here in quarantine, but Brianna mainly lives out of here in this portion of the sanctuaries because she hasn't really wanted to merge with another bobcat since having lived with Bobcat Stelter. And so Miss Brianna has been preferring the private suite life. And now let's check in on her and see how warm and cozy she is in her heated bungalow. Yeah. Ooh, she says, it's so warm in here, and I won't keep the door open too long, pretty girl. I won't keep the door open too long. And that's Brianna sitting right up on one of her little shelves there. You can see den box full of soft bedding. The crowd favorite, always the recycled fire hose hammock. You can see Brianna's even got a log in there. But she says, you know, I'm a bobcat. It's cold outside. I've got all this fur. I could go outside, and that's the beauty. I have the options, but I am choosing to hang out in my bungalow. And Miss Lady, you can enjoy that. And I'll let you keep on enjoying yourself, but I'm glad we got to see one comfy, cozy bobcat enjoying their indoor space. All right, Miss Bree. All right, Miss Brianna. I'm maybe going to make one little curl around Wildcat Pines here, but for the most part, I'm thinking that the cats are kind of on the same page as the humans today, that it's cold. It's cold out there. I see someone pointing out it's 72 degrees in Los Angeles today. Sorry, not sorry. Little salt to the wound as I'm walking around in snow. I'm sure you guys can hear the crunch under my boots. I've got the Snow pants on, boots, the whole kitten and caboodle. Obviously our staff is bundled up as well. Kathleen Whitkiss saying, what a sweet beauty. Beverly Lawrence saying, hi Judson. Winter has arrived here too. Chilly indeed. Stay bundled up. The cats will snuggle for warmth where possible, I'm sure. That's right. I was even taking photos early this morning and we had even higher winds. Still pretty windy now. But Jeremy and Simon were rolling around in the snow and just hamming about. And it was always fun to find that every cat here has their own kind of normalcy or state of warmth. And it seems like Jeremy and Simon, they just don't give a darn. Let's see, pretty quiet. I didn't see any of the Bobcat trio out. Would love to end it with a cat. I know we've kind of been cruising around a lot today. But again, it's one of those times where it's great to see that our cats are utilizing their indoor spaces, especially on cold days. Ava and the Peppers right here, you can't imagine that they'd want to be spending too much time outside today. It doesn't look like it. It's like I'm the only one who's crazy enough to be outside. Gotta get used to winter live posting. Got a cold hand. and a lot of cats who just want to keep on enjoying the comfort of their indoor bedroom, which might not make for good live WS. Hey everybody, great to see that we did a little stroll. Could have been a little bit more of a cat-filled stroll. I'm glad that we got to share everybody about some of the events that transpired over the weekend, about how we had to step in and make sure that all of our cats here in Hybrid Haven were staying warm, and fortunately they were. I'm glad that I got to share that with you guys and just acknowledge you for all that you truly do make possible here. All right everybody, let's turn it around. I even see that the phone is starting to freeze. That's no fun at all. Well, it looks like the phone might even be colder than I am, so I apologize if things are again, and we'll see you soon.